The story of Yajnavalkya and King Janak, Episode 1. Before we begin today's inspiring story, I have a humble request for you. It is said in the Garud Puran that an incomplete story or lesson can lead a person to sin. Therefore, please make sure to listen to this story till the end. If you are a true devotee of God and have unwavering faith in Sanatan Dharma, then like this video, subscribe to the channel and express your devotion by commenting Jai Shri Ram. Now, without further delay, let us begin today's enlightening story. In the ancient kingdom of Mithila, ruled by the wise and just King Janak, a grand assembly of scholars, sages, and seekers of truth often gathered to debate and discuss the profound mysteries of the universe. Among these seekers was the great sage Yajnavalkya, renowned for his deep understanding of the Vedas and Upanishads. Episode 1: The Invitation to Debate. King Janak, known for his unwavering commitment to knowledge and truth, decided to organize a grand debate in his court. He invited the most learned scholars and sages from across the land, promising 1,000 cows adorned with gold to the one who could best explain the nature of the self, Atman, and the ultimate reality, Brahman. As the court filled with esteemed guests, King Janak addressed the assembly. Let the one who has the deepest understanding of the self and Brahman come forward and claim these cows. The wisdom shared here will benefit all of humanity. Yajnavalkya, confident in his knowledge, rose from his seat and announced, "I will take these cows." His audacity caused a stir among the scholars, who challenged him to justify his claim. The challenge begins. One by one, the scholars and sages posed their questions to Yajnavalkya, testing his understanding and wisdom. They asked about the nature of the self, the essence of Brahman, and the interconnectedness of all existence. Yajnavalkya, with his profound insight, answered each question with clarity and depth, leaving the assembly in awe. King Janak, impressed by Yajnavalkya's responses, decided to pose his own question. "O wise Yajnavalkya, what is that which illuminates the world and the self? What is the source of all knowledge and existence?" Yajnavalkya replied, "The source of all knowledge and existence is Brahman, the ultimate reality that pervades everything. It is the light of lights, the seer of seeing, the hearer of hearing, the thinker of thinking, and the knower of knowing. It is beyond all dualities and distinctions." Stay tuned for episode 2, where we will delve deeper into the profound teachings of Yajnavalkya and the enlightening discussions that unfold in King Janak's court. The story of Yajnavalkya and King Janak, Episode 2. In the ancient kingdom of Mithila, the grand debate in King Janak's court continued with great fervor. Sage Yajnavalkya, having impressed the assembly with his profound knowledge, prepared to delve deeper into the mysteries of the self and the ultimate reality. Episode 2: The Nature of the Self. King Janak, intrigued by Yajnavalkya's insights, posed another question. "O wise sage, you have spoken of Brahman as the ultimate reality. But what is the nature of the self, Atman, and how is it connected to Brahman?" Yajnavalkya replied, "The self, Atman, is the essence of all beings, the eternal and indestructible reality that underlies everything in the universe. It is identical with Brahman, the ultimate reality. Just as a drop of water merges with the ocean and becomes one with it, so does the self merge with Brahman." He continued, "The self is beyond physical existence and cannot be perceived through the senses. It is the pure consciousness that illuminates all experiences and knowledge. The self is the witness of the mind and the body, untouched by the fluctuations of thoughts and emotions. The example of the sleeper." To illustrate his point, Yajnavalkya used the example of a person in deep sleep. When one is in deep sleep, free from dreams and external perceptions, the self remains as the silent witness. In that state, there is no duality, no distinction between the knower and the known. This state reflects the true nature of the self, pure and unchanging. The assembly listened with rapt attention as Yajnavalkya's words resonated deeply with the seekers of truth. His teachings shed light on the profound connection between the individual soul and the ultimate reality, offering a glimpse into the infinite nature of existence. King Janak, moved by the wisdom imparted by Yajnavalkya, expressed his gratitude. "O sage, your words have illuminated the path to understanding the self. Please continue to share your wisdom with us." Stay tuned for episode 3, where we will explore the intricate teachings of Yajnavalkya on the various states of consciousness and the journey towards self-realization. The story of Yajnavalkya and King Janak, episode 3. The grand debate in King Janak's court continued as the sage Yajnavalkya delved deeper into the profound mysteries of the self and the ultimate reality. The assembly of scholars and seekers of truth listened intently, eager to absorb the wisdom imparted by the sage. Episode 3. The States of Consciousness. King Janak, ever the seeker of deeper understanding, asked Yajnavalkya, "O wise sage, you have spoken of the self and its connection to Brahman. Please enlighten us on the various states of consciousness and their significance in the journey towards self-realization." Yajnavalkya replied, "O king, there are 3 primary states of consciousness that every being experiences: the waking state, Jagrat, the dreaming state, Swapna, and the deep sleep state, Sushupti. Each of these states offers insights into the nature of the self and the ultimate reality. The waking state, Jagrat." Yajnavalkya began by explaining the waking state. In the waking state, the self experiences the external world through the senses. It perceives, interacts, and engages with the material world. However, the waking state is characterized by duality, as the self identifies with the body and mind, creating a distinction between the observer and the observed. The dreaming state, Swapna. He continued, in the dreaming state, the self withdraws from the external world and enters the realm of the mind. Here, it creates and experiences its own reality through dreams. The dreaming state reflects the power of the mind to construct worlds, but it is also a reminder of the illusory nature of experiences. The self remains the silent witness, untouched by the dream's transitory events. The deep sleep state, Sushupti. Yajnavalkya then spoke of the deep sleep state. In the deep sleep state, the self retreats into a state of profound rest, free from dreams and external perceptions. In this state, there is no duality, no distinctions. The self remains as pure consciousness, undisturbed by the fluctuations of the mind and senses. This state offers a glimpse into the true nature of the self, which is beyond all dualities and limitations. The 4th state, Turiya. Finally, Yajnavalkya introduced the concept of the 4th state. Beyond these 3 states lies the 4th state, Turiya, the transcendental state of pure consciousness. Turiya is the ultimate reality, where the self realizes its oneness with Brahman. It is beyond waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, and is the state of absolute bliss and enlightenment. The assembly was mesmerized by Yajnavalkya's teachings as he illuminated the path to understanding the various states of consciousness and their significance in the journey towards self-realization. King Janak, deeply moved by the sage's wisdom, expressed his gratitude. "O Yajnavalkya, your words have brought clarity and insight into the nature of consciousness. Please continue to share your profound teachings with us." Stay tuned for episode 4, where we will explore the final teachings of Yajnavalkya and the transformative impact of his wisdom on King Janak and the assembly. The story of Yajnavalkya and King Janak, episode 4. As the grand debate in King Janak's court reached its crescendo, the sage Yajnavalkya continued to impart his profound wisdom on the nature of the self and the ultimate reality. The assembly of scholars, sages, and seekers of truth listened with rapt attention, their minds and hearts open to the transformative teachings. Episode 4: The Final Teachings and Realizations. King Janak, deeply moved by the insights shared by Yajnavalkya, asked, "O revered sage, you have illuminated the various states of consciousness and the connection between the self and Brahman. Please share with us the path to attaining self-realization and enlightenment." Yajnavalkya, with a serene and compassionate demeanor, replied, "O king, the path to self-realization and enlightenment involves deep introspection, meditation, and the unwavering pursuit of truth. Here are the key principles that guide this journey. 1. Self-inquiry. Atma Vichara. Engage in the practice of self-inquiry, constantly asking, "Who am I?" and seeking to understand the true nature of the self beyond the physical body and mind. 2. Detachment. Vairagya. Cultivate detachment from material possessions, desires, and the transient experiences of the world. Understand that true happiness and fulfillment lie within, not in external objects. 3. Discrimination. Viveka. Develop the ability to discriminate between the real and the unreal, the eternal and the transient. Recognize that the self is the only eternal reality, while everything else is fleeting. 4. Devotion. Bhakti. Foster a deep sense of devotion and surrender to the divine. Devotion purifies the mind and heart, creating a conducive environment for self-realization. 5. Meditation. Dhyana. Practice regular meditation to quiet the mind and connect with the inner self. Through meditation, one can transcend the limitations of the mind and experience the bliss of the self. 6. Selfless service. Seva. Engage in selfless service to others, recognizing the divinity within all beings. Selfless actions purify the heart and dissolve the ego, allowing the true self to shine forth. The Enlightenment of King Janak. As Yajnavalkya concluded his teachings, King Janak felt a profound transformation within. The sage's words resonated deeply, and he experienced a moment of clarity and enlightenment. With a heart full of gratitude, King Janak bowed to Yajnavalkya and said, "O wise sage, your teachings have dispelled the darkness of ignorance and illuminated the path to self-realization. I am forever grateful for your guidance." The assembly, too, was deeply moved by the wisdom imparted by Yajnavalkya. The grand debate in King Janak's court had not only expanded their understanding of the self and the ultimate reality, but also inspired them to embark on their own journeys of self-discovery and enlightenment. Yajnavalkya, with a humble smile, blessed the assembly and said, "May the light of wisdom and the flame of devotion guide you all on your paths to self-realization. Remember, the self is within you, waiting to be discovered. Seek it with sincerity, and you shall attain the ultimate truth." With these words, the sage Yajnavalkya departed, leaving behind a legacy of profound teachings that would continue to inspire and guide seekers of truth for generations to come. The end. The story of Yajnavalkya and King Janak is a timeless reminder of the transformative power of wisdom and the eternal quest for self-realization. May it inspire you to seek the ultimate truth and discover the divine essence within.